record that you have.
All right, so let's go down the path. The theory is if you distress the paint, the guitar is going to sound better. I have a different theory.
Okay.
The strength of something goes up by the square, x to the 2, of its thickness. So the thicker the paint, the more damaging it is to the sound of the guitar. The thinner the paint, the less damaging. So we try to make our paints ultra thin. Okay, 1. That, in my opinion, has more effect than if you distress it. 2, how much rubber is in the paint has an effect. Now, a lot of these distressed guitars, they use finish that cracks, which has very little rubber in it, which is good. That's really good. But if you sent it cracked, the dealer would send it back. But if you send it cracked and you mess it all up, then it's okay, which is, okay, that's an interesting point, an interesting way to look at it. So, in my opinion, the thickness of the material and the kind of material have more impact than whether you got your keys out and beat the crap out of it, in my opinion. We've done a lot of experimenting with this, and I believe that to be true. So, how much paint's on it, and what kind of paint is it? How dry is the wood before you painted it? How dry is the wood 5 years after you painted it? Are the resins crystallized? Look, if you take all the paint off the guitar and then the guitar can dry more and it wasn't dry when it was made, then 5 years later it will sound better if the wood is more dry. But what if we dried it really well before we painted it? You know, so we bake our wood, we bake it, paint a huge amount of heat over a very long period of time, as if it has gone through 35 summers and winters. Alrighty. So we pre-age the wood really, so that it can resonate as much as it can. So I have my own theories.
Different.
Finish was not invented to make guitars sound better.
No,
Finish was invented to keep the sweat off it and to make it more beautiful. Okay, if I sand 3/4 of the finish off this guitar, I guarantee it'll sound different. Whether it sounds better or not, we have an argument about, because we've put these guitars together with no finish. They tend to be more mid-rangey, and I don't know if mid-rangey is good or bad. But that beautiful tone that I was getting was not so mid-rangey; it was very spread out sounding.
Yeah.
But
the initial question was, what would happen if it would be practical for better tone?
We would do it all day long.
You would do it all day long.
Oh, God, yes.
So, and that is basically the outcome of this. You are convinced, and which is true from hearing the instruments, that with the process you're using, you achieve the best level already. So there's no need to go a step further.
That would be the idea. And the other thing is, if you're going to distress it, do it through its natural wear. Don't put a war wound in a baby.